Welsh Rugby's woes continue as the women are knocked out of the World Cup without recording a single win, and they don't get out of the group stages. Heading into this World Cup, we were expecting a bit of an improvement from Sean Lynn's team. He was able to come in now, have a bit more time, and maybe put his philosophy across. But it just didn't really click, and the Welsh women now join the men as ranked 12 in the IRB World Rankings, and that's just a damning indictment of where Welsh Rugby is at the moment. So, where did it all go wrong? If you cast your mind back literally 2 years when the team went properly professional, and then we had the Six Nations where I think they won 3 games, only losing to France and England, but with the best of the rest, and it looked really positive. Some players started to emerge: Celia Tuipulotu, Alex Callender, Jazz Joyce Butchers was already there, and you thought, oh, this could be positive going forward now. But since then, 2 Six Nations with just 1 win, finishing bottom in both, and then this World Cup has happened. So, it's very frustrating. When you look at the team, there's some very good players in that team, and you think they should be doing a lot better. So, where's the blame lie? Where I think it lies is at the WRU again. Like I said, they went professional a few years ago, but since then, it's kind of been like, well, we've gone professional. You've got now the 2 sort of semi-pro teams in Gwalia and Brython, and they've kind of just gone, right, we've done women's rugby now. That's sorted. We've made it professional. We don't have to do anything else. And they've basically installed really nothing underneath it. And I think that's where a big part of the problem is coming from. The standard is really not that competitive, and a lot of the girls are playing over in England, and not all of them are playing meaningful minutes, but there's no other option really than to stay over there. So it's really difficult. I don't think there's been enough funding throughout the game. I don't think it would require an awful lot for them to increase the standard of the 2 teams. The Celtic Challenge is going to improve over the next few years. I believe Ireland are putting 4 teams in there, all based on the provinces, and I think they're all going to be professional. So we're going to have to upgrade the standard of that squad to be able to compete in that. Added on top of that, we had the whole malarkey where they were forcing the players to sign contracts under duress. Nigel Walker cost him his job. Also, Ewan Cunningham, I think he was part of the problem, and they kind of used that to get him out. But I thought when Sean Lynn came in, he's got an extremely excellent track record over his time at Gloucester Hartpury, and you thought him coming in now, he's going to just be able to galvanise this group and get the processes in place. And, you could forgive him the first Six Nations because he literally came in a couple of weeks before that tournament. But this one is just simply a letdown. And it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. My understanding is, though, that he hasn't really been able to bring in his own coaching setup. He's working with what was before, and clearly before it wasn't working, and the attack doesn't really work. You've got to let him come in and bring his backroom staff. He needs to have people in there he can trust, who he's going to get his message across and who are going to deliver exactly what he wants in that team meeting. And I think the sort of mental attitude around the union, around the women's team, needs to really have a fundamental change, because the women's game is growing at a really fast rate, which is excellent. But I think they're seeing just the growth of the game as success, and the matters on the field don't really matter to them. I saw a quote from Belinda Moore, who is the head of women's rugby in Wales, and they were talking about, has this World Cup been a failure? And she said, quote, definitely you can't say they failed. They lost 3 from 3. I understand the attendances are up and everything like that, but participation, that's all excellent. But fundamentally, that will not last if you don't produce on the pitch. And the only way to do it is to increase the funding, which I understand they're trying to do. There has been some sort of pushback with people saying, you're cutting a men's team to fund a women's team. I don't think that's accurate. The cutting of the teams is for them to fund the campus. That's where all the money's going to. I think the men against women argument is a bit of a red herring. It's the campus where all the money's going to. So I think we need to bear that in mind. The women's game needs an injection of money. It's not underneath the national team. The standard is not good enough, and that needs to be brought up. Unless we want things to continue they have to do something about that. Just paying a lip service like they've done over the past few years is simply not good enough. I do still think Sean Lynn is the right man for this job. You cannot doubt that he's got the CV, and he's worked with this group of players, over in Gloucester Hartpury, some of these players, and he's shown he can get the best out of them. I just think at the moment he needs a bit more support from the union. I think they kind of just gone, he's a winner, he'll sort it out, and it doesn't work like that. But let me know what you think, and I will catch you on the next one.